All right, we bring you back in. It is John Stanley Sports Talk, and it's time to talk a little NFL. Well, we're going to talk two teams in the NFL. We're going to talk the Miami Dolphins, and then, of course, I've got the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Cohen, and we're going to talk the Bears
The Bears.
as he's repping his number 52, and he's got the hat, and oh my goodness. Hey, you're 2-0 in the preseason, man. It's Super
Yep.
Bowl this year, right? Super Bowl for the Bears?
Won't go that far.
All right, let's talk about the big news out of Chicago. Roquan Smith returns to practice. He's going to play out now his contract after demanding a trade. What are your takes as far as one as a fan and just your thoughts of Smith's return?
I think honestly, this is huge for the Bears because um that if they said that Roquan Smith didn't return, they didn't know what they were gonna do with the linebackers because they don't have that good linebacker except for I think Alex Ogletree. But it's good that Roquan Smith is back and hope he does something for the Bears again.
Yeah, and then I
Once
mean,
again.
look, man, here's the one thing with the whole thing to me is Roquan figured out that hey, if I don't play out, they don't trade me. They're probably gonna start fining me sooner or later, and I'm gonna start losing some money.
Yep.
Season's about to start. He doesn't play any of the preseason now. He probably won't play in their final game. He'll get some practice time, get in playing shape, and be ready to go week one. And then he plays out his contract and he'll go to the highest bidder. To me, I almost feel that the Bears had an idea of what they wanted trade value for Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
And linebacker is a very tricky position because they really do a lot for your defense, but they're not seen as a high commodity as far as, I'm not going to give you a, first round pick for, unless of course you got maybe an LT or a Brian Urlacher or one of those Hall of Fame guys that like, okay, wait a minute, let's see what we can do here. So I'm thinking they didn't get what they wanted trade value wise and was like, hey, here's the situation.
Yeah, they're probably like there's nothing good coming in, so
Yeah. You're either going to sit at home and we're going to fine you for not playing, or you can come back, play out your contract, and then you're going to leave us, and then we'll get a compensatory pick at once he leaves as a free agent. So, in the end of it, I don't know that it's a win necessarily for either team because now the Bears are probably not going to they're going to compensatory pick, so they'll get something out of the deal, but I'm sure they probably would have liked, and I had some ideas. I mean, I told you already, I would have traded you, Mike Gesicki. Not that the Bears need another tight end. I get that. Jerome Baker, another linebacker to replace Roquan. You could have taken Preston Williams. You could take all our garbage. I'll give you all of the Dolphins' garbage for Roquan Smith. And actually, Gesicki's not really garbage either. It's Jerome Baker, but you know what I'm saying there. But I am happy for you, man, because at least the Bears defense will not be it. And honestly, the defense hasn't looked that bad this preseason. And I get it. A lot of the players aren't playing right now. And of course they did play the Seahawks this last week. And the Seahawks are just terrible.
Yeah.
Did you end up watching the game?
I watched it all. That was terrible.
You did? You got it was a Thursday night game, wasn't it?
Yeah, no. Honestly,
does your mom know you watched the whole game?
Oh yeah, she knows.
Oh, so okay, all right.
But
thought you were in the room underneath the pillows watching the game. You're supposed to be in bed and stuff.
But yeah, that was just terrible for Seattle. I know it's preseason, but still, that's terrible.
Well, I mean, I think, again, they've got Geno Smith playing now, and then they've got Drew Lock, who has has COVID, and apparently Carroll said he's pretty sick, so I don't know if he's going to be back for the third game. You know what I'm saying? And if that happens, then I guess Geno Smith's going to be their starter, at least for the season, unless something.
Oh no, Drew Lock is, I think.
Well, yeah, but Drew Lock might, if he's out with COVID and they said he's really sick. I don't know what that means. Or if that's just talk by the Seahawks. But if he is really sick and he's he's out for, another week of games. I mean, and not that Geno Smith tore up the place and there, and honestly, the Seahawks are playing for first pick, I believe.
Yeah, honestly, I'd say for Seattle, I mean okay, their wide receiver core is good, but it's just the QB. That's the problem. The QB situation is not that good right now. I say they just go for the first round pick, honestly. I know it's kind of early, but they go for the first round pick.
Yeah, I mean, well, let me see here. Let's see. I don't know. I'm looking at their receivers. I mean, they've got a lot of receivers, but there's no I think at DJ Dallas here.
DK. I'm honestly surprised though that DK Metcalf signed that contract. I was surprised.
Money talks, man. Money talks.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know money, but it's like still, man.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess when you throw DK in there, you got to say no matter who else is lining up with him, just DK by himself makes that receiving core
better.
And that's the other thing is they're not playing a lot of their guys. I mean, at least they're big name, they're receivers. So it's kind of hard to look at. And again, it's preseason. Every team is hard to really judge as far as being like precise on what you think they're going to be in the regular season. I mean, because again, a lot of guys aren't playing. I mean, last night, the Raiders, they traveled here to Miami and they left 30 something guys home in Vegas. 30 guys didn't make the trip. When you looked at the sideline, it was bare. And then also, I mean, the Dolphins did the same. They didn't dress out, quite a few guys that they've sent out a list before the game, and then they added Tyreek Hill and some others there. So we thought we were going to get to see a little bit of the Cheeto last night, and it didn't happen. I think that was because when they looked across the field and said, wait a minute, they left 30 guys home, and then again, it's one of those things where, man, it's the preseason. You're very vanilla when you're playing your offense. You're not throwing out the game, not game planning. You're not sitting there going, okay, the Bears are going to run a 3-4, and I don't know what they run, so I'm just making stuff up here.
Yeah.
3-4 zone blitz with zero coverage or whatever, and you're game planning saying, okay, well, if we send Tyreek around the back, it's very vanilla. It's run right, run left, pass and everything else. So it's very difficult to get a gauge. But what do you think about Justin Fields? I mean, he went in there, he did 5 of 7, took him down for a field goal, and his night was over. Have you seen enough of Justin Fields to say, I'm comfortable? I get it. He's your starter. I'd rather whatever you want to say there or not. Are you getting comfort level in him being the leader of your offense?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think yes, because I know like he didn't get a lot of touches in both games, but I mean, you look at the training camps, you look at him and Darnell Mooney, even him and Cole Kmet. I know they didn't get a lot of touches last game, but they look like those three could be easily a good trio for the Bears, for the offense especially.
Okay. No, I was just wondering because, again, like I said, I mean, 5 of 7 is not bad. 39 yards. I didn't catch the very beginning of the game, so I missed Justin Fields. I think I caught it right at about the end of the first quarter, so I missed Justin Fields, game there. But when you looked at, I mean, the stats to me was very odd. I mean, you have the Bears did about 277 total yards, and the Seahawks were 324. But it's 27-11, and the 11, is 24-0 before the Seahawks even got on the board. So it's one of those games to where, there was a lot of drops by Seattle there. Again, they're playing a lot of penalties too by the very, very undisciplined. It's one of the things that I do like when I'm watching the Dolphins is I think we had our first false start penalty last night. Last night was our first false start. And of course it came on 4th and 1. So it blew up the play and then we had to punt. But, when what are you seeing out of the Bears as far as like what are you liking with Eberflus? What are you seeing maybe different? And again, I get it. It's preseason, so you can't really compare regular season Bears last year under the coaching staff to necessarily the preseason. But for you, what are you seeing? Maybe some differences with the new coaching staff in place for the Chicago Bears.
For sure, the penalties. If you watched the Bears last season with Matt Nagy and all of them, you can see that a lot of the penalties were on the Bears. Now, these last two preseason games with the new coaching and everything, there's really not been that much penalties on the Bears. Now I know it's preseason, whatever, but like I think like out of those two preseason games, I think there was only like two, maybe three penalties. But if Matt Nagy was still there, there would have been 100 penalties the first two preseasons.
Yeah, check this out. So the Bears were penalized 3 times against Seattle for 38 yards. The Seahawks, 13 penalties. 13 penalties in the game for 92 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I don't know how you can't win. And it's kind of odd because, man, I don't follow Seattle close enough to say like, but to me, they seem to always been that team that didn't beat themselves. And maybe it was the Russell Wilson angle with him being able to, kind of be the, like with the Patriots, when you're watching the Patriots now, you're like, oh, that's not the same team. The person missing is Tom Brady. So he can be the go-to and all that. But maybe the Russell Wilson effect too in Seattle, now that he's in Denver. We'll see. But I mean, it just, when I watched that little bit of the game, and honestly, I turned it off at halftime because it was already 17-0. And to me, I didn't think Seattle would score 11. And the Bears were playing decent on defense. They were giving up some yards and chunk plays and things like that. But again, not that I follow the Bears enough, but I didn't know many of the people that were on the field when they were giving up the chunk plays. They weren't calling names that I was like, okay, that guy's going to be there, starting. I mean, maybe it's a back end guy that'll have to come in if an injury happened or something like that.
Oh yeah, that happened to their rookie cornerback just got
Brisker. Yeah.
But it says he's going to be back until the regular season, the first game, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, man. It's the balance that you have to do as a coach too, right? Because you want to see these guys, and you want to see them in different. It's like a lot of the Dolphin fans. We did the post game after the show. It's like, why'd you go for it on 4th and 7? It's preseason, man. Give the guys a chance. It doesn't matter when. Guess what happens next week? Everybody's record is 0-0.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
Look, my punter gets enough punting practice in practice. Just why punt?
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if I lose 99-0. Put these guys in positions they're never going to see. See what happens, man. I mean, I get it. If it's 4th and 95, you may want to punt. I get that. But for me, I think in the preseason, I would go for it more than maybe not. Because then you're putting your offense in a position where they're not used to that. But then also you're going to put your defense, if they don't get it, now you're going to have to be able to see what they can and can't do. And again, it doesn't matter. You beat me 57-0. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm judging my team. You're not playing against the 53 guys that I'm probably going to have on my team anyways. I mean, it's one of those things where I found it funny. They're like, oh, nobody's talking about Mike McDaniel going for it on 4th and 7. It was the backup quarterback. It was the backup line. Everybody was the backups. And what does it matter? Are you playing for wins and losses in the damn preseason?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these broadcasters, I know they're whatever, they're like saying the games, but I don't know what they're saying is like it's preseason. It really doesn't matter. I remember one time on what was it? I was watching the Bears, and I remember I heard I don't know if I'm saying this correct, but I heard one of them say that Seattle is nervous that Russell Wilson is coming on opening day or whatever. I'm like, it's not that. It's just the players. Really, it doesn't matter about the people, the guy coming back or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing though. Is again with TV and with the broadcast and everything, you're trying to find a storyline. You're trying to
Yeah,
find that storyline to make whoever watch. Because to be honest, if I'm a Seattle fan, there's not a lot to watch. But hey, I'll watch it because Russell Wilson's coming back. I
yeah,
might be upset that he probably runs us into the ground, but
yeah,
that's one of the things with TV too, and with the radio and the broadcasting is they've got to find those storylines. You know what I'm saying? And when I say wins and losses don't matter in the preseason, I'm speaking from a team perspective. Of course, preseason matters to, the
the
guy that
rookies.
maybe was an undrafted free agent and wants to make the team and things like that. So before, everybody jumps in and be like, oh, preseason does matter to certain players. What I'm saying though is I would rather throw some of those players in the fire more than just being like, hey, it's fourth down, we punt. Fourth down, we punt. Yeah,
Yeah,
in the regular season, that's going to happen. But it doesn't matter if it's happening in preseason. I watched the Bills last night go I think they won 42-17.
yeah. It was like 42
Yeah,
17.
but also the other team, they did some things that probably would not have happened in a regular season game. Now
Yeah.
Buffalo is a powerhouse. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, they're for sure
they
a
took
powerhouse.
advantage of every mistake that could be made in that game and scored. But
Yep.
also, again, you're not going for it on, fourth down a couple of times that they went for it and gave the Bills, a smaller field and things like that. So, again, when I say, preseason doesn't matter to me in wins and losses, but again, Baltimore Ravens, they're 20-0. They play tonight. They go to 21-0 in the preseason. They
Yeah.
haven't lost in 21 preseason games. I watched who was it last night? There's another team that's 10-0. They went to 11-0, and they're right behind. If Baltimore was to lose, they would be the second place team at 11-0. You know what I'm saying? So, but to me, it's a funny stat because it's like that means nothing in the grand scheme.
Yeah.
It means not much, but to the players now, it means everything, especially the ones battling to make a team. And and then like they say, you're not only playing for the team that you're in camp with, you're also playing and auditioning for the other teams around the NFL, because they know if you're making strides, they're watching to be like, okay, well, if they cut that guy, let's try to get them through waivers, or let's try to figure out, because everybody gets cut and thrown to practice squad, everything else, got to clear waivers and everything else. So it's going to be very interesting next week, because I know with the Dolphins down here, they're thinking, the third string quarterback played his way on the team, which may leave some other guys off the team, because the thinking was you slide the rookie drafted seventh round Skylar Thompson to the practice squad. The problem is, to get him to the practice squad, you have to cut him. Then he gets through waivers. They did that with Reed Sinnett last year. The Eagles got him before he could get to the Dolphins practice squad.
Yep.
So that's one of those things to where, it's going to be very interesting for you. Justin Fields, your quarterback. Anybody you think surprises you and makes the roster, as far as for us, like the Skylar Thompson? A lot of our draft class is making it 2 seventh round picks and things like that will probably make our team. Anybody surprise you right now when you're watching?
The guy from Tennessee, Velus Jones Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's a two-way. What was it again? Like a two-way. I forgot the name. It's like he's a two-way like punter and receiver.
Yeah, he plays
But
special teams. Okay, he's a special teams
yeah,
player as well. Okay.
but I feel like when it comes regular season, I feel like in the preseason they don't use them that much. And I know it's preseason, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like let's say he doesn't make the roster. He probably will. He probably will, because actually he actually might not. He might just be on special teams. I don't know yet. But he they have to use him more, because if he does make the roster, he's not gonna he's gonna know what to do. But it's like, all right, wait, how do I like? What if it hits me? What do I do? Because he has not got that much touches. Yeah, he got like maybe like 3 to 2 touches
Mhm.
against Seattle, but he's not getting a lot. Like he's not getting
Yeah,
he's
but
not
the
getting a
one
lot of
thing too
experience.
is you got to look at too also is the one thing that, and again, I don't know how much you're able to see from the Bears, but the Dolphins down here release a lot of the training camp footage and the camp footage, and we're able to go to the camps. I know you can't drive to Chicago or wherever it is and watch the camp, but they may be seeing enough out of him in camp to be like, we don't need to see him in the games.
Yeah, that's
You
true
know what
because
I'm saying?
yeah, I
So,
haven't I haven't saw the behind the scenes on me. Like they
yeah.
don't, I haven't seen anything from training camp. So maybe yeah, behind the scenes, maybe yeah, he's showing them like, listen, you're good. We don't need you out of you. And what man, what I was like really sad about, and I know this is really later, but the guy that wide receiver McNeil or something from Patriots.
Mhm.
I'm sad about that because I
Yeah.
know he's I haven't watched him like really, but you just never know out of these guys. Because for example, a lot of these people a lot of people that like weren't good last season now could be good,
Yeah.
and it sucks because he's out for like 6 weeks and you won't see a lot of him, and especially from the Pringle guy. Like yeah, he's gonna be. I think he's supposed to be at the 49ers, but I kind of want to see him like play. I kind of want to see him like play in the preseason a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard too because when you're a coach and you're sitting there and it's like you're not going to be putting them in the situation that you may put them in the season either. Whereas
Yeah.
in practice, you can assimilate, um, that happening on the field. You know what I'm saying? Because again, the one thing I found interesting yesterday was when Mike McDaniel was saying, because everybody's like, "Oh, the Dolphins look terrible in that first drive." They were like, "Well, the Bears were showing us some fronts that we didn't expect because we thought they would go more vanilla,
Yeah.
and we thought they would go more." And then when they started bringing, whatever the linebacker or the safety, it kind of caught them off guard because they thought it was going to be a little bit more vanilla fronts and coverages and things like that. Because usually teams don't necessarily do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, when you look at some of these teams, the Raiders, new coaching staff.
New wide
Yeah, maybe they wanted to see some of this in game action to see, and maybe it's guys doing it that won't be doing it in the season, but they want to see it on tape to be like, okay, this is what works. This guy should have came through this gap. This should have went to this, but they got it on game tape now against another team to where they can use it to, start teaching a little bit more. So, we're coming up to the final preseason week. Do you think you'll see Justin Fields at all this game? Do you think um let's ask this. Justin Fields is your starter.
Yes.
Trevor Siemian your backup.
Yeah.
Peterman third quarterback or cut? Do you keep Peterman or you cut him?
Cut him.
Cut him. You try to get him. Can he go to your I mean, you know what? I don't know what year he's in. I don't know if he can go to the practice squad. I don't know. I have to check that out.
Yeah,
I know
I
they
don't
changed
know.
some things on the practice squad rules. So, but again, so you think they only keep two quarterbacks? You guys keep two quarterbacks?
Yes, but I feel like what might actually happen is if we do cut him and we do start with 2 quarterbacks in the regular season, I think in the middle or like the first 2 games, I think we are gonna bring someone either from practice squad or we're just gonna bring someone to our 3rd string.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll see what plays out there, man. Anything else before we get out of here?
Uh, not really.
You
Nah.
don't even want to say the Bears?
The Bears.
There we go. There we go. I'm Sean Stanley. He is Brandon Cohen. We talked a little Dolphins and a lot of the Bears.
The Bears.
Brandon, you got any? Hey, are you on Twitter or anything like that yet or no?
No, not yet.
Oh, we know you're on TikTok. TikTok. What's your handle on TikTok?
No, I don't have an account. I just watch.
Oh, okay. All righty then. No social media. We got to get that changed up. But you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Sean_Stanley11. We'll have some highlights coming out later today. And as always, Mr. Cohen, I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.